Have you ever been in a relationship where you thought everything was perfect only to have the rug pulled out from under you? Well, get ready for a story about Callum and Freya, a couple whose breakup turned into a masterclass in petty revenge. Callum was head over heels for Freya. He thought she was the one. They had been together for 3 years, lived together for 2, and he was even thinking about proposing. From his perspective, their relationship was solid. They shared everything, from secrets to a joint bank account for household expenses. Callum was a planner, a saver. He worked hard and was meticulously putting money aside for a down payment on a house, a future he imagined sharing with Freya. Freya, on the other hand, was more of a free spirit. She loved spontaneous trips, fancy dinners, and the finer things in life. Callum didn't mind. He loved spoiling her and seeing her happy. The trouble started subtly. Freya began working late more often. She was suddenly very protective of her phone, taking it with her everywhere, even to the bathroom. When Callum asked about her day, her answers became vague. He tried to brush off his worries, telling himself he was just being paranoid. He trusted her, or at least he wanted to. But the late nights turned into weekend work trips, and the emotional distance between them grew into a canyon. The breaking point came one Saturday afternoon. Freya told Callum she had to go into the office to finish a big project. Callum, feeling suspicious, decided to surprise her with lunch. He drove to her office building, but the parking lot was nearly empty. A security guard told him the office was closed for the weekend. His heart sank. He called her phone, and she answered, sounding flustered, claiming the meeting had been moved last minute. The lie was so obvious it was insulting. That night, Callum couldn't sleep. He knew something was wrong. In a moment of weakness, he did something he never thought he would. He checked their shared tablet, which was synced to her phone. And there it was. Messages, not from a coworker, but from a guy named Liam. The messages were detailed. They talked about their recent weekend trip, making fun of how clueless Callum was. They were planning their next rendezvous. The worst part? Freya had been using money from their joint savings account to fund her secret getaways with Liam. Callum felt a cold, hard rage settle in his stomach. It wasn't just heartbreak. It was betrayal on a whole new level. She hadn't just cheated. She had stolen from their future. He didn't confront her right away. Instead, a plan began to form. He was going to get his money back, and he was going to expose her. First, he meticulously went through their joint account statements, highlighting every single expense Freya had made for her affair: hotel bookings, fancy restaurant bills, plane tickets. The total was staggering, nearly $10,000. He then quietly transferred the remaining balance of the savings into a new account solely in his name. The next step was the masterstroke. Freya's birthday was in 2 weeks, and she had been dropping not-so-subtle hints about a huge surprise party. She wanted to invite all their friends and her family. Callum agreed, telling her he would handle everything. And he did. He booked her favorite restaurant, sent out beautiful invitations to everyone they knew, and told Freya to just show up and be ready for the best night of her life. The night of the party arrived. Freya walked in, looking stunning, beaming as everyone shouted surprise. She hugged Callum, whispering how much she loved him. He just smiled. After everyone had eaten and the mood was celebratory, Callum stood up to make a toast. He raised his glass and began, "I'd like to thank you all for coming to celebrate Freya. She is truly a one-of-a-kind person. In fact, I recently discovered just how much she enjoys surprises." He then clicked a remote, and a large projector screen behind him flickered to life. It wasn't a sweet photo montage. It was a slideshow. The first slide was a screenshot of Freya's texts with Liam. Gasps filled the room. The next slide was the hotel bill from their work trip, then the plane tickets. Slide after slide, Callum laid out the evidence of her affair and her theft, all set to a cheerful pop song. Freya's face went from shock to horror to pale white. Her parents looked mortified. Her friends were speechless. When the slideshow ended, Callum picked up the microphone again. "So Freya," he said, his voice calm, "I took the liberty of paying myself back from our joint account. As for the rest of your things, they're packed in boxes on the front lawn. Happy birthday. Oh, and Liam, I believe he's waiting for you outside." "Don't worry, I invited him to." Callum put down the microphone, walked out of the restaurant without looking back, leaving Freya to face the silent, judging eyes of everyone she knew. It was a brutal move, but for Callum, it was justice. He had lost the woman he loved, but he got his money, his dignity, and one heck of a revenge story. What do you think? Was Callum's revenge justified, or did he go too far? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories.